had the police officer invested in me, the victim, I think it would have helped significantly, because I could have disclosed there and then, what had just happened. I was hurt. I was just strangled. Darren was upstairs, slit his wrist. Obviously, there was a massive problem in the house. And the police officer, after running up the stairs to see what was going on with Darren and being sworn back down the stairs and, being told to get out of my effing house and everything else, he came into the conservatory to see me and just sort of said, oh, is everything all right? And I just went, like that, and he left. So had he invested in the victim, then he could have had more out of me that moment than probably any other time in the 18 years. There was another incident as well, which could have really been picked up on, which wasn't really. And that was once when Darren was actually in the 6 weeks period that we'd actually, I decided enough was enough and filed for divorce. And Darren was not living here. And he was told not to come to the marital home. And somebody, which I know it was Darren, come into the house and poured a load of bleach over my clothes. Yeah, so that was a massive part of my case, which wasn't picked up on with the bleach on the clothes, and that was stalking. Darren was stalking me. Another time, I can remember saying that he was parked outside the place where I worked, from a distance, observing me. And again, that was not normal behaviour, and that should have been picked up on. Who goes around sitting outside their ex-partner's workplace, just staring into the shop, and the constant phone calls and everything else. Looking back now on my case, I mean, if it wasn't so tragic, it's like Keystone Cops. I had 34 or 36 officers deal with my case in 6 weeks, and it's really tiring. If in the beginning of the investigation, people really invested, took the time, put the effort in, built the case as big as they could have built it, with all the evidence they had and all the jigsaw pieces, then who knows what the outcome could have been. I'm sure it could have been a lot better than what it was. When Dan bleached my clothes, it was like, oh, shall I bother phoning the police? Are they gonna look into it? I did phone the police and they took the bleach away, but I had no faith that anything really was going to be done. And I was right. Not a lot was done with it. I phoned the police to tell him Dan had bail restrictions on him. He couldn't come within a 3 mile radius of the marital home. He couldn't contact either of the boys, they were potential witnesses, and he had a 6 till 6 curfew. And Dan had gone to the gym, so he broke his 3 mile radius, and I told the police about that, and they kept going to the gym when the gym was shut, and I told them that the opening and closing times of the gym, so that was poor as well. And like with the very next day, Dan had the bail restrictions put in place. He broke them because he went and met Jack. And that again, I flagged that up to the police, and that wasn't dealt with how it should have been dealt with, and it is all serious now. After the events, police are probably looking and saying, "Oh, we could have done this better, we could have done that better," but that's not good enough. Now you know what to do. You should be doing it. Yeah, all these little incidents, I mean, make up the bigger picture. They might seem very trivial, when the police officer goes, to a call, I don't know, for me with the bleach. But you put it together with everything else that happened, it does build the bigger picture, which in the end was a real scary picture.